Well, today is Thursday, it's 11th of July 2024, and I'm back down on the Paseo Maritimo. I had intended to park up and have a little walk around. Two problems though: it's very hot, 30 degrees plus, and it wasn't even midday. And also, just finding somewhere to park just seems to be a big problem at the moment. So I've driven down to the end, put the camera on the roof, and what I'm doing now is just driving back along the Paseo. At the moment, just driving along the La Lonja area. So just at the back on the right hand side is all the streets with La Lonja, all the bars. Really interesting place to go, particularly in the evening time when the bars are very busy, and really quite inviting place. We don't go very often, but when we do, we enjoy it. On the right hand side also, sometimes they have a market. Nothing there at the moment, but I'm guessing there will be sometime soon, but I don't know when, because they don't publish these things very well. As you can see, there's quite a bit of traffic on the Paseo, even though there's a lot of problems, particularly further on as we go along with all the roadworks. It's one of the symptoms of the modern times, really, is that we get stuck in traffic jams pretty much everywhere we go. Just looking over to the left hand side, that's the old fishing port, and it's still a working fishing port, so the fishing boats will be coming in there very early in the morning, sort of 3-4 o'clock in the morning, unloading their catch. And just on the left is the fish market, where all of the fish get auctioned off. Just noticing up on the pole there's an advert for Tom Jones, who's coming later on in July and going to give a performance here. Not the only one, there's lots of acts coming to Mallorca. James Blunt is coming. Unfortunately, we're not going to be here for any of those, so we're going to miss them all. Just up to the right, you can see those black boxes that are suspended. That's the Baleares Museum and Art Gallery, and it's certainly something to see, which is a little bit different. Well, at last we're moving again, and now you can start to see the roadworks appearing. So this is one of the things, we've got 3 lanes going into 2, a little bit of a bottleneck, but there's still lots and lots of work going on. And we haven't actually got to the point in the Paseo Maritimo where the main work is. That comes up pretty much at the next junction. So as those cars slide off to the right, I'll go straight on, and immediately we'll see the work that's being done. What's new though is this part of the road. The part that we're actually driving along now is part of the new section, so it's all open now on the land side, and well, it's starting to look much better. Still lots and lots to do, and we'll see how quickly they manage to get it done. It's more or less finished on the landslide, but as you can see just to the right now, they're still working here, even though they say it's finished. Well, we'll see. What they've got to do now is work in the middle and on the seaside, and the middle work is already underway, and some on the seaside as well. The two things will run somewhat in parallel. And the work was supposed to be finished by November, December of this year. That's now not going to happen. The work is going to move on right through till next April, May even, and we'll see if it's actually finished then. But if you look to the right hand side, we're starting to get a glimpse of what it's all supposed to look like. So we just go past the Costa Azul Hotel. This side now is more or less complete. That's great news for the bars and the restaurants, because they can open up. And we're just outside the Hotel Palma Belvedere, and just showing you there the car park. It's the car park Anita uses when they go to the auditorium, which is directly in front of us. The yellow lines mean that they're temporary, so on all the road markings at the moment there's all sort of temporary markings until the work is finished, and then we'll get the permanent markings. But we've got some parking on the right now which is available. That wasn't available before. because they were still doing all of the work. So the building in front which jots out, that's the auditorium. It's our biggest theatre on the island, where they have lots of shows, and 2 theatres in there, a big one and a smaller one. Looking to the left though, you can see now the considerable amount of work that's going on in that central part. And just by the way, the speed limit on here is 30 kilometers per hour, and I was very careful to drive at 30 kilometers per hour. What you'll find is cars and motorcycles speeding past me. I'm not sure what speed they're doing, but it's certainly not 30 kilometers per hour. Just coming to the port on the left-hand side with all the yachts in it, and I think we've got about 2 cruise liners in today, maybe 3. That brings in maybe 4, 5, 6,000 passengers who come into Palma. Now, this is the old social club that's now in the process of being demolished. The bridge that we're going under now, that too has to be demolished. It's going to be a tricky task because it's attached to a building which is listed. So when they take that bridge down, they're going to have to be very careful not to affect the building. But all of the social club, that's the bit in the centre, the swimming pool that's there, all of that is going to be demolished and should be done within the next couple of days. They started a couple of days ago, and they should have had it done by now, but I think it's going to take a couple of days more. You can see there's massive piles of rubble on the left-hand side, and all of that's got to be cleared away, and then they can start landscaping. The trees, some of them are going to be moved and some of them are going to be cut down, particularly the palm trees, which have been damaged by the weevil, and they say they're not going to survive being transplanted. So we're getting just into the port area now, and that's undergoing much work over the winter time, well, for the past year I suppose, and that still hasn't been finished, so hopefully they'll get a move on with that. You can see now a couple of cruise liners in there. We did have a bit of a problem earlier this week with one of the ferries that goes to the mainland. As it left Valencia coming towards Mallorca, there was a fire and everybody had to be evacuated from it. That's a bit worrying. We're going to be using the ferry later on this year. Just on the right hand side there is Can Barbara, and here we've got like a walled area. I don't know why it's like that, slightly elevated, but it certainly makes it look a bit more interesting. One of the thoughts as I was driving along here is it's a pity they didn't take the opportunity to put some tram lines in. I think it would have been really good to have had a tram running across the front in Palma. Would have got people quickly across the bay, and would have been a really good, useful system for the local people. Just now on the left you can see all of the work that's going on in Club de Mar. That is going to be fantastic when it's finished, but still a long way to go. As we go under the bridge, we're getting now towards Portopi, and more or less to the end of the roadworks. All to the left there is an area where you get on and off the ferries. It's the maritime station. Right in front you can actually see one of the ferries in the distance. That's a Baleares ferry. Just as we start to go around the bend, you can now see directly in front the lighthouse, one of the oldest in the Mediterranean, perhaps one of the oldest in the world. And we're coming up to Portopi, and that's all I'm going to put into this video. So I hope you found my update there on the Paseo Maritimo interesting. If you have, give it a thumbs up, and I'd like to see you in the next one. And there's the Portopi Centre. As I come to rest, I'll say bye for now.